Saturday, September 13th. Leningrad and Moscow are heavily bombed by the German aviation. Army Group South reaches the outskirts of Lubny. The Germans begin to move Ukrainian women to Berlin and other cities in their territory to work in factories or as house servants in German houses. The authorities order that they be treated differently from normal citizens. They will be provided with a mere mattress to sleep on, among other hardships. In Romania, an anti-communist campaign begins. Anyone labeled as communist who commits a crime that can be interpreted by the state as subversive will be immediately shot. Under these circumstances, thousands of murders will take place with impunity. The leader of the Flemish nationalists of the Belgian party Vlaams National Verbond, Staaf de Klerk, declares that his movement is willing to share the fate of the Germanic people. The United Kingdom has lost 1,600 airplanes between April and September this year. In the United States, Japanese and American delegates are unable to reach an agreement. President Roosevelt requests a new defense budget and is considering the possibility of arming merchant ships. In the Far East, a Japanese joint force ends four-day maneuvers in the Pacific. Sunday, September 14th. In the German-Russian War in the south, the German troops fighting in the Battle of Kiev continue to tighten the ring around the city. The two tank pincers of the Wehrmacht that are encircling the Russian forces in the hinterland of the capital come together in Lovica. In the north, the Russian troops commanded by Zhukov that are defending Leningrad carry out an unsuccessful counterattack against the German positions in Schlüsselburg. A seaborne assault of the Muhu Island in Estonia takes place north of the Gulf of Riga. The British government sends a fighter plane contingent to Russia. In Finland, 3 minesweepers of the Kriegsmarine are sabotaged while undergoing reparations in the Helsinki shipyards. In the United States, President Roosevelt tries to strike an agreement with different political leaders on the neutrality laws. In a press conference, he declares, "America cannot live in a world dominated by Hitler," and praises the Russian people for their resistance.
In the winning of this most brutal, most terrible of all wars.
The ships of the American Navy are given the order of destroying all Axis submarines they locate. In the Middle East, in Iran, an uprising takes place against the Allied troops that have invaded the country. Monday, September 15th. In northern Russia, in Leningrad, the Soviet troops try to reorganize to stop the German assault against the city. Army Group North has completely encircled the city, going through Irkutsk and reaching the Gulf of Finland. In Estonia, they invade the island of Saaremaa, Osel, in the Baltic Sea. Army Group South closes the pincers on Kiev. General Mikhail Kirponos has received orders from Stalin to hold onto the city at all costs. The The high commands of the Wehrmacht urge Hitler to step up the rate of rocket development in the Peenemünde factory. The decree forcing Jews to wear Stars of David on their clothes is extended to all the territories occupied by the Third Reich. Stalin sends Churchill a message in which he requests him more proactive help. He proposes that British and Soviet troops collaborate in Russia as the Prime Minister is reluctant to open a new front. RAF aircraft bomb Hamburg, Bremen, Cuxhaven, and Wilhelmshaven. In Paris, a group of German soldiers suffer a terrorist attack in the Champs-Élysées. Tuesday, September 16th. At the headquarters of Rostenburg, Hitler meets with Otto Abetz, the German ambassador in Paris. The Nazi leader asks him to try to convince the French authorities that Germany needs their support to crush Britain. If they cooperate, France would be given a voice in the reshaping of Europe once the war is over. In Russia, in the south, in the siege of Kiev, the panzer of Generals Guderian and von Kleist have trapped more than 6,000 Russian soldiers in a pocket. The final assault to the city begins. Army Group Center starts to prepare to march to Moscow. In the north, the panzer occupy Strelna in the coast of the Gulf of Finland. In the Middle East, in Iran, after the revolts, the Allied troops breaching the terms of the armistice occupy Tehran. The U.S. government announces that the Atlantic Fleet will protect the supply convoys up to the 26th line of longitude, sailing to countries that are included in the Lend-Lease Act. Wednesday, September 17th. In the German-Soviet War, in southern Russia, heavy fighting takes place in the peripheries of the city of Kiev. Semyon Timoshenko, commanding the Western Front, authorizes the withdrawal of troops from the city, and Stalin sanctions the decision. General Kiropanos orders his armies to abandon Kiev at any cost. Erich von Manstein takes charge of the 11th German Army to carry out the conquest of the Crimean Peninsula. Von Lieb, in charge of Army Group North, receives orders from Hitler of sending 39 panzer divisions to the Moscow front to reinforce Army Group Center. The inhabitants of Leningrad are condemned to death from starvation. In Rostenburg, the Führer spends a few days with some guests, with whom he shares his views on the future of the Soviet Union. Even the most insignificant of our stable boys must be superior to any native, he exclaims. The United States Navy increases its units committed to escorting the Atlantic convoys. The country assumes responsibility for the protection of the ships leaving from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, and the security of the Icelandic ship lanes. For his part, the Canadian naval escorts accompany the convoys until the British take control. Thursday, September 18th. The withdrawal of Soviet troops from Kiev begins. General Mikhail Kirponos is killed on the front. 15,000 of his men managed to escape under German fire. In the Battle of Kiev, General Heinz Guderian has proved himself to be the best strategist of the Third Reich with armored forces. His comrades in arms nickname him Quick Heinz. In northern Russia, in the city of Leningrad, the scarcity of basic products is becoming unbearable. Stalin orders that all Soviet citizens between 16 and 50 years of age go through an intensive military training period. RAF bombers attack the power plant of Mazingarbe in the surroundings of Bethune, France. In the Mediterranean, British planes sink 2 large Italian transport ships loaded with supplies and soldiers meant to support the Africa Corps. In the United States, President Roosevelt will present an amendment to the neutrality law and requests Congress more than $6,000 million to help Great Britain. For its part, the American Legion asks for the end of the neutrality law and that bases will be set up in the Philippines and Iceland.